Hello, everybody. So I have something to talk about. I'll be quick. I'll only take 12 minutes, I think, because I've tried to record this for like an hour, and there's so much content for me to sort through, honestly, and just edit. So I'll be brief, but there's a couple of things to mention here, honestly. And I think I obviously do have some takeaways at the end, but let's just, I guess, start from the very beginning. First of all, I don't really make content on YouTube or anything like that. I'm just a regular folk, just like hopefully those who are watching this video. Um, so I mean, you obviously know what this video is about from the title, but I just wanted to say who this video is for before we begin. Um, so I'm someone who I guess use computers, uses Adobe, Photoshop, whatever stuff like that. Wants to get into sculpting 3D, and decided to get a drawing tablet, a graphics drawing tablet. And also, maybe you've used an iPad once or twice in your life, and like you obviously know the limitations of it, which is having to not being able to plug it into a computer without some kind of crazy software, which doesn't even work that well, or it doesn't translate because the pen feel, all that stuff is not there. So um maybe also you so yeah so basically if you maybe you're a person that's looking for an iPad-like experience, even or better if possible, on a Windows machine or a Mac as well. Maybe you're someone who is taking anything to do with graphics work more seriously than just having to doodle. Obviously, opinion warning, but I think that if you're drawing on an iPad or you're doing some professional work on an iPad, I think there's always going to be a case, or a lot of times your files are gonna end up on a workstation. So might as well, if you have the space, obviously, and enough mobility to have something stationary, connect to directly to the workstation. So, and honestly, I thought it wasn't gonna be as hard as it turned out, and the amount of time that I spent. And it's not like I even gone away with all the lessons learned here, but I just wanted to share my experience to maybe just help you, maybe just save time really, or make a better choice. Make a better choice, because I feel like at least I turn to YouTube for a lot of things. And honestly, I feel like YouTube helped me as much as it really didn't help me. I feel like it wasted my time as well. And I'll get into reasons why it's the case. But before I get there, let me first just kind of walk through my experience with buying these things and just what kind of things I looked for. And obviously, then you can make your kind of you can make your own comparisons and see if you're looking to a similar thing that I'm looking for or something else. Um, yeah, let's begin. So I first I'm someone who likes to buy things as local as possible, so not having to really go out of my way and buy like online in the sense that involves any kind of delivery or anything. I'm more of a person who would rather buy it like a local electronics store and I just like pick it up. So like it's still online, right? I still order it online, but I like pick it up myself. So like like within the same day or whatever. Because I also don't like live in the US or anything. I don't have any like Amazon one click delivery day, whatever shipping. And where I live, it's not the infrastructure is not that insane. Um, so that's I guess also a thing to keep in mind. Like I want this video to be useful for those who obviously maybe live in Europe. I mean, I don't know how it is in the UK because I'm not from the UK either. So I don't know, maybe there it's pretty chill as well in terms of like Amazon or whatever. But I feel like in a lot of places there, like you buy something online, you have to wait, it has to arrive, then you have to go back, blah 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 blah. So it takes. Sorry, it takes time, But I'll still okay. Anyways, never mind. So yeah, let me begin. So first, yeah, I go to my direct dealer, my local dealer, and they like have a lot of stuff. They have kind of a lot of different products, and it's like decent amount of products, like mass market ones, right, and stuff. And I look for a graphics tablet, right? And I mean, again, I'm looking for a tablet that is as good as the iPad or better, because like on one hand, iPad wasn't made for being like like a digitizer in the first place, right? It's a whole computer, or it's more like an iPhone or something. It's not really for just drawing necessarily, even though it's really good at it. But so yeah, right. Sorry, I have to think here. But yeah, so I go and with this in mind, obviously, I go and look through the website through what my dealer has. Obviously, it has like Wacom's and stuff, right? So obviously, it has those tablets and whatnot. But Wacom, definitely looking comparing it to other ones, feels like an insane price. It seems like stupid, right? And this is also really important. Like this video is not for someone who's like on their third tablet or something like this crazy, and they're just like, it's like, oh, whatever. I've tested so many things. I've tried so many things. This video is more for someone who wants to get it into it and doesn't want to waste a lot of time. Don't want to spend all the time. Just wants to feel good in a sense that like, wow, I want to get this thing. I want to arrive to my door, or I want to get it, and I want to know that the chances of me having to deal with any problems are as low as possible. Because, like, in my opinion, the amount of pain I went through is just unreasonable, and it's so easy to avoid. Especially this information that I'm gonna tell you. I feel like a lot of you viewers just like they just omit it, they never mention it, or they frankly just don't. It doesn't bother them, right? But I feel like if you're trying to do something for an average viewer, an average consumer, there's so many things that are missed. It's like so important. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into it, right? So the first thing, I would say the first thing is, yeah. Okay, sorry. I go get XP Pen Artist Pro last gen 2022 inch. And I know it's my fault that I didn't get the last gen, but I'll tell you straight away that it's not necessarily always it's not that getting the latest generation is always the best thing, actually. Like, not at all, actually. Not at all. And to my knowledge, like I don't have direct experience of that, but even the new gen Vacoms have the same problem, in my opinion. And again, problem is an opinion, right? So some people may say, or actually genuinely not consider this a thing, but I'll get there. So yeah, I get the XP Pen 2022, and I made a big mistake because for like 2023, where the first video shot, the screen gap is like atrocious. It's like it's bad. It's just really bad. It's really bad. Also, 2022 inch definitely was a big one for me, but that was really hard to, like you kind of have to see for yourself, put it on your desk, see how much space it takes up. It takes up a lot of space. And I think it's not even that. It's just like I have no place to put it away nicely and fast enough to then just kind of pull it back without having to like dismantle it, I guess, put it somewhere else, and then just like just too much fuss. So I realized that I need to get 16-inch, but also yeah, I don't know, the screen was pretty bad in terms of gap. Like there was just such a big gap. It's insane. Like I would straight up say, just don't get any Artist Pro and Pro. Just don't. I think there's even some recent videos. I mean, let me check. I don't wanna be making things up here. Okay, I see. So like if you go on YouTube and you type in like XP Pen Artist Pro, and this is also the problem. There's Artist Pro that's the last gen, and there's Artist Pro that's just previous gen. Because the new gen, I think the last gen of XP Pen is like just Artist or something like that. By the way, straight away I'm saying I'm not a nerd and I want to save people's time. I'm not here to be like, wow, well this 1%, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't care. And if you care, just leave. because if this is not the point of all of this. The point is not having to think too much and get a decent product without having to think too much. Because being a research nerd and wasting like half a month getting something at your door, and then maybe on the first try you fucking succeed, maybe on the second try, but if it is on the second try, it takes a month, right? On the first try, it takes half a month still, right? Or if you're like me, who wasted maybe 1 month plus, but haven't done that much research at first, but still, it's not that I've wasted that much more time. That shouldn't be the case, to be fair. It should be as easy as what is the best tablet, and that's it. But the problem is, it's really hard to actually like, what's the best tablet for you? Forget about it. Forget about this category. This category is stupid. I'll just tell you which ones are good and bad from my experience. And I wish I had more, obviously, more to tell you, more things that I've tried. But the only thing I'm not doing this for any purpose. I really don't care. I have no intentions, nothing behind this. I'm just like, I would even say like kind of frustrated enough to just make this video to just let you know and just save people's time, save humanity's time, so less time is wasted overall, and just we live a better life without having to care about this. And I feel like a fault of the YouTubers, it's fault of the manufacturers not making this a smooth experience, and when it should be. So yeah, that's why I'm here. And again, it's my opinion, of course. Like I don't have a hold grudge against anybody, but again, I feel like this it's way too damn hard. It should not be like this. Like it should be just as easy as me knowing that, oh wow, I can get an iPad and it's gonna be great. Like is that a lot to ask? Like, and why I say that is because once I'm gonna get to the other tablets, like they're great things. And like if you just merge these two tablets together, like they would have been great. But the manufacturers are like this. If this was one manufacturer, this would have been great. But that's what happens. Oh shit. Well, one manufacturer has this, the other one manufacturer has this. Like, I don't get it. Anyways, so the first tablet that I bought, right, that I mentioned, the screen was bad, 22 was too big, and I just returned it. So kind of my F in terms of size, but the feel was definitely like uber last gen. Not even last gen, it was just bad. I think even when this thing came out like 3 years ago, that's kind of pretty bad, given the fact that iPads, I think, just started coming out with pens even a bit earlier, and like they were good right off the bat, and like the tablets weren't that good at all, like at that time. So no, okay. So then we get to the next tablet. So then I get the first tablet. I get disappointed. Why? Because there's like so many factors. And at the same time, I kind of even wanted to believe that if I got the best Wacom, I would have been better off. And spoiler alert, in my opinion, it's false. Actually, you getting the current, for example, Cintiq Pro, in my opinion, given the fact from what I've experienced so far, it's not really ideal. And I'll get into why specifically right now, which is regarding the second tablet that I got. And I really wanted to love it, but it just didn't turn out. It was terrible. Second tablet, so that's after I researched a lot and like looked into like even pens and stuff, like what's closest to Wacom and whatnot, all these things. And so I land on Huion 2.5K 16-inch. I assume it's last gen. I don't know. It came out recently, but it has 2.5K screen, right? 16-inch again, and supposedly close to 100% Adobe RGB, whatever, 90%, 80, whatever. Which is an important thing. Why I mentioned it again, like I mentioned previously, right? I really don't want to be the guy like mentioning all these freaking percents and stuff, but like I would argue that like I wanted to buy Cintiq regular one, but the screen is like 70% Adobe, and maybe it's not even that bad, but honestly, I would say if you're going for a screen and it doesn't look like your average device, like an average like iPhone or even an Android device, if the colors are off, it's like bad. Like don't get a graphics tablet, get a regular one. But again, here the video is specifically about graphics tablets, and if you're someone who wants to basically have close to iPad driving experience, but not use the stupid iPad OS, in my opinion, again, iPads suck because of their OS. Because like, are you doing work or doodling? I don't know. Again, that's very try hard take on my part. I understand, but I don't think there's a great sculpting alternative in 3D or anything good 3D in iPads yet. But then again, would you enjoy having to like task switch between like with gestures and stuff, doing anything at like in parallel? Like let's say, I just don't know. I don't think iPad is serious, right? So let's just forget about that analogy, please. Um, or just not, just know my opinion here. Right. So the Huion, right? Yeah. So like I said, I mentioned that why not Cintiq, right? Because if you go for Cintiq Pro, it has the same apparently the problem so far, and it's not actually clear. You really have to dig for this. Cintiq Pro, the current generation, all of the pros, right? I think so. And the Huion 2.5K 16 that I actually really want to love, and I love it, but I also really hate it. Why? Etched screen, etched freaking like, what is that? It's awful. Okay, so there's so much to unpack here. I mean, first of all, YouTube reviewers. I understand, and I'll mention the category of people who I think are sort of least responsible for this kind of F, in my opinion, are those artists. Even those artists who get a bag from Huion. Let's be freaking real. If you go Huion tablet, let me see. Yeah, like if you get a Huion tablet, like if you just look for Huion tablet review, there's nothing good. There's nothing freaking substantial on YouTube that I can find right off the bat. Comparing for, I don't want to name names on the top search results of these channels, but let me tell you, I would say product reviewers, I I just will advise against them. And sorry, I'm gonna get a lot of flack again because I have no interest in YouTube as a platform except being someone as a user and having to freaking give my feedback and also help those who are gonna freaking experience the same pain and whatever because like there's not enough care in this like with this. I don't know. It's just like, and I don't know. Do you enjoy watching a 20-minute product review and like and maybe like 10 of them and then still making like a bad choice or feeling like this wasn't obvious in the video? Because I'll tell you what wasn't obvious in the video. Freaking etched glass, okay? Actually, I'm jumping the gun here. I was gonna still mention the channels and whatnot, not the names, obviously. I'm not looking for drama, but I would say, okay, don't look at product reviewers. Why? Um, Problem is, I think reviewers get a bag. And again, I'm not talking about reviewers. There's great reviewers such as probably Dave2D. He's honest and always tries to put shoes, or often tries to put himself into shoes of a regular consumer. And like, problem with a couple of decently popular tablet review channels is that either they're so jacked, they have so many tablets that they don't care at this point, or because they're doing this for the bag, their reviews are like balanced. They're too balanced. They actually are, in fact, specifically balancing it out. I don't think when you buy a product as a consumer, you're trying to justify what you bought and try to freaking, let's just say, like, I don't know, engage with copium necessarily to justify your stupid buy that you actually hate inside. like you either know, oh my god, I hate this, or you don't. And like a lot of YouTubers who get the bag from, like, let's say Huion, or their regular product reviewers, they might even be balanced, okay, but it's just because they're balanced, they might not necessarily care too much for a certain person who is buying a tablet once, and maybe it's like they don't have a lot of money, they have never tried them, they just want to have a good experience right off the bat. And I think that's a reasonable ask here, but I don't think that's something that's like taken into account often with these guys, or anyone actually. They them, let's be real. Also, yeah, I mean, like, there's also these channels that like are literally like Wacom warlords or whatever, or like I said, just anyone who like these channels who like have tried all the tablets, or even their artists or whatever, and it's like they're never gonna tell you what's actually good because they've tested the best all of it, and they're just gonna tell you, well, this is kind of okay, but actually, yeah, if you want to like drop all the bags, just get a Wacom. I say don't freaking get a Wacom, just fucking don't, really, because it makes no sense, because it's true. Tech in these new tablets from freaking, I mean, they're all from China, obviously, but those cheaper tablets are just as good. The problem is, I'm sorry for that. The problem is some of these are like the tablets copy Wacom, and some moves from Wacom are dumb. Actually, they're really dumb. And I mentioned it earlier, I think, but I'll get there. I just wanted to first clear out this YouTuber reviewer thing, and how you might think, oh well, they said it's not that bad. So I mentioned the reviewers, and I said why they're not necessarily the most in your service of you getting the best product. And I'm really sorry, it's just truth in my opinion. I'm just trying to be real. Um, so yeah, I would, if you want to get a decent tablet, don't jump to reviewers. In my opinion, like the product reviewers. So like if you open their page, just think. I think whenever I'm talking about stuff like this, just don't make it personal. I'm just talking about someone when you open their page and you see their type of content and how much they have. If they have like 10 plus reviews of a lot of products, don't bother. If they have 10 plus products or reviews of tablets, okay, you can watch them, but again, I would not say take their word or bother with wasting your time, because they'll just tell you, okay, this is like this is good, maybe this is bad. Okay, why is this a problem? In my opinion, I'll tell you why. Actually, no. I will mention all the content types and then get there. Then there's these artists who get a bag and they just like do one or two reviews. Be careful of those, because let's say they get a bag from Huion, they will tell you, oh, this tablet is so cool, blah, 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 blah. Like, I will say, I have the take on this, okay? I have a take on this. Be careful when artists tell you, it's so funny, right? But be careful when artists tell, just freaking bug, right? Crazy. Dude, get the hell out of here. This freaking artists tell you, like, oh, this tablet is fine, like, or like some things that, oh, I don't bother, but it's not such a big deal. The thing is, of course, some of these artists are like full-time drawing titans for, I don't know, 4 years, 6 years. Of course they're not gonna, like, they have everything in their mind and they don't even need a screen or anything. They just draw in their head. That's cool, that's amazing. Problem is, again, I'm talking from a perspective of someone who can maybe draw to some extent, or like likes it and wants to just get into it, but at the same time not necessarily wants to deal with this like hurdle of just not looking at something when you draw it, let's say, and at the same time not wanting to drop a bag on Wacom, basically. Because in Wacom it feels like, well, it feels like it's really a lot of compromises, unfortunately. On Wacom you either get something that's comparable to the Chinese, again, they're both all from China. You either get something that's that's like low tier Wacom, but actually equivalent products, non Wacom ones, that are actually closer to high tier Wacoms, but they have problems, or you get a high tier Wacom which has problems too and it costs a lot. And again, the problems that this problem specific that I'm gonna just mention now, like the thing is, a lot of artists, they might say that they don't care about it because of course they don't, because they're great at drawing, and that's perfect. But we're trying to we're here, like I think it's a thing that, like, why not make why wouldn't you want it to be the, like, or why wouldn't you want it to be that technology actually helps you? Like I would rather technology helped me learn and helped me improve and become better at what I do faster, right? Much faster. But it just seems like there's so many obstacles put in front of these things. It just makes no sense. And the artists, they can either just not spend time mentioning this at all because it doesn't bother them, whatever, which that's fine. That's fine. But it doesn't help the consumer, or like you can have product reviewers and they will mention it, but they will mention it like, oh, and this thing, and then move on. And then it's like a 20-minute video and they mention it like what, for a second or two, or like five? And like, is that, how do I know that's important information? Like, how? I don't know. So again, like, and that's really annoying because I've gone for a bunch of these videos and they led me astray. They really did. They just did let me astray. And the only way I would have really known is like literally getting the thing, spending my time, and just yeah. So the second tablet that I got is a Huion, actually, 2.5K, 16-inch, right? Etched glass. I actually, okay, I'll say this. I didn't even notice it at first. I was like, oh, that's cool. I turn it on, whatever. Also the colors are off because you need to go into this setting thing and do Adobe RGB, whatever. That's fine, I guess. But I start drawing. I open up like Photoshop, Illustrator too. And by the way, I'll just be honest here. Huion's pen is pretty freaking good. It's really good. And I'll tell you later that you should probably get a Huion from what I can gather from my limited knowledge, but not the one that I got or latest generation. Okay, so the thing is, why is that? Because on all latest generations, there's freaking etched glass. Why? Why would you do that? Like, what's the point? The problem is with etched glass, it disperses the colors, and it's not. Okay, fuck it. I will not even bother explaining. Imagine you have a freaking iPod screen or a display, and you know how you're like in the shower with your phone and whatnot, and like the water spills, and you know how your like pixels get all fucking funny, and it's just like so hard to see through. I'm not even gonna explain you the effect. Like, why would I? I mean, I can just say it's rainbow effect. What the fuck is a rainbow effect? I'm watching a video trying to load my brain. I don't care about rainbow effects when you say, oh, it's just that. No, it feels like you have water on your screen and it's hard to see through. I'm getting a graphics tablet with a screen. I'm not like, that's important. I want to see things. Okay, granted. This is where we come in. You could say, well, look, of course, it's a little bit different. It's not like your regular LCD display, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't get away your art. It doesn't get away into of everything, right? I do not kind of agree. Again, like I said, if you're an artist who's just working with many tablets, has a freaking hand, whatever, yeah, you can do it without actually looking at all. Of course, easy. I get it. But I'm again talking about people who want to use technology, such as myself, to help them get better faster. Because I believe it, and it obviously is the case. Of course. In my opinion, of course, it's much easier when you have a display that's right below your pen, and you just see what you get, right? But not in the case of this Huion 2.5K or any Huion, as far as I can tell, with etched glass, which is, as far as I can tell, all the latest generations are. Latest generations. Because the thing is, the previous generation actually doesn't have it. It has like a film or whatever. And yeah, you can take it off if you hate it. I don't even know how it looks, but like it's a film, I guess, or whatever. Like, because I have two tablets here right now, and the one is without this edge thing, like where it has it so minute, don't even see it. Of course, I would prefer that screen, because the argument that you would make is like, oh well, the paper feel though. Oh my gosh. forget about pro. Oh my god, please! I swear to God, like paper feel, I get it, and it's actually cool. But the thing is, I would even argue it's fair to say. So I have this Huion pen, right? This right here, and to be fair, like I don't even want to really show you like these tablets how they look or whatever. It's not that I'm lazy or anything. I just think like it doesn't really tell you anything. That's really my opinion. So this helium pen, but in this case, I'll just show you like it has like a tip. First of all, again, this pen tracks really well. This pen tracks really well. It does actually feel pretty good, and it feels like the pressure sensitivity. I'm not even gonna name this name. When I draw with it, I feel like it's a pencil. I think it's a good enough criteria. It feels pretty chill. It does feel chill, and it has this tip that's like white or something. It's like papery tip. So that like gives it actually is cool. It's like it gives you a nice feel, not gonna lie. And the screen, sure, yeah, matte, whatever, blah blah blah. But having to use the other tablet, I would say, oh yeah, please make it optional that this freaking atrocious looking screen. And this is where it gets worse. As far as I researched, I could be wrong, but I think it's the case with all this type of technology. Wacom Pro, Cintiq Pro has the same issue. Best top of the line, latest gen, also shit, if I'm correct. Because I watched, I've looked through a couple of videos on YouTube. I had this, I heard a similar sentiment, but I had really had to dig for it actually. And that's the thing. You're never gonna hear that. You're never gonna hear this unless you look for it. How the hell should you know when you're looking for? Like you're just trying to review a product, unless you're a research nerd. But this is not who I'm just making this for, you know. So, just do I have to explain why this thing is incredibly freaking just bad? You're working with color, right? You're doing I think the line work and everything is fine. That's all cool shit. But as soon as you get into color, as soon as you're trying to see the shade, the gradient of the shade, how the color transitions, it's actually hard. Especially on whites. It's like fine, everything is dark. Is all you're doing are night scenes, right? Fine. But if you're working with like light colors, oh my lord, it's the worst. The color noise is unbearable in my opinion. And look, I understand. I'm not necessarily the best. I don't have necessarily like 20/20 eyesight or anything like that. But comparatively to my IPS display panel, whatever, I don't even know if it's calibrated or not. But it looks like your average, good-looking iPhone, Samsung screen or whatever. That looks good. I look to this. The problem is, yeah, like if I just like glance at it, it's fine. But when you're working and you want to feel the details, you want to feel the minute transition of the color and everything, it's not there. What I see when I want to look for this, I see eye strain, and I see color that's in the way of the color that I want to see and perceive as one. If I'm looking at red, I'm not looking at red, or I'm not looking at like pink or like white or like something milky. I'm looking at milky with a bunch of freaking noise. So like let's say I'm working in Photoshop and I add noise. How do I know how noise looks if it's on top of another noise? And okay, again, like I said, this is where we get back to this argument where like, well, this is like the drawing tablet. Like you should be drawing in it. It's not like all should be do all thing. Like I think it's a really important thing to always keep in mind that I think you as a consumer, whenever you can get a thing that does as many things as possible, the best it can, such as an iPad, except the stupid OS. Yes, this is the superior device. Also, iPad is a small brand. Okay, so obviously if you want something big like 24-inch, obviously there is nothing like that. There's this Microsoft Surface thing, but I think it's probably, I actually don't know, but it's super expensive, right? Yeah, but like if you just want to have a decent, reasonable mobile tablet, it's like what the hell's going on here? Because at the end of the day, content creation. It's not even like this video is really for those who like, I don't know, you're doing a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, and like the less problems you have, the better. Guys, AG screen, just I'm gonna be straight up. Don't get it. Don't get the latest generation Huion. Don't get Cintiq Pro either because it has the same issue. Cintiq, no, Cintiq Pro. Cintiq I think doesn't have this problem. But the problem is Cintiq. It has like 72 Adobe RGB color, which again, I'm not gonna be this nerd, science nerd. I know this thing is like, oh my god, so overblown when you're trying to compare all these stupid numbers. I'm not this guy. I really hate this. I'm gonna tell you straight up. But the problem is, if these two tablets, these two non-vacuum tablets, both come close to 100 or like 80, 90%, 120, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If, like, I'll say the second tablet that I have, it like looks really close to my monitor. The Huion is actually a bit bland, a little bit, and it's not like 72 Adobe RGB. And that's the other thing. You actually have to set it in your little screen setting. At first, it's gonna be really bad. It's not gonna be color, whatever, because I'm assuming they already pre-calibrated because they realized how dumb it is not to calibrate them whatsoever. But like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at it. Like the color is very, just, I don't think Cintiq makes sense. And as far as I can tell, Cintiq also has a gap as well, a decent gap. But maybe I'm wrong actually. But I feel like it's gonna be worse than on these. So I wouldn't tell you get a Cintiq unless you don't care about color. But then also my entire review makes no sense. But I would argue you should care about color if you're getting a colored graphics, right? Graphics. Okay, what are graphics? It's yes, it is lines, of course, but it's also colors. And I think if your color looks as good as an average device, then you're there. You don't have to double check your art. You don't have to do stupid pipeline thinking in your mind. You can focus on what you want to do, what you want to create, right? So with that in mind, Huion 2.5K 16-inch or any Huion last gen, just avoid it. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, it's shit. It's fucking waste of money. And it's like the other thing. It's like, okay, they made this 2.5K screen. Right? It's great. It looks fantastic, actually, right? It's not 4K, sure, whatever. But I'm not the biggest fan of 4K because it has to drive so many pixels, and it's like you're not gonna run it or any like last the previous gen Max as well. Like the 4K driving a 4K screen is gonna like burn your graphic card. And I'm like, I have a decent graphics card. Like that's not a problem. I just like when I can have a lot of software open, and one software is not gonna eat up the entire freaking like graphics buffer or whatever. So I would say there is advantage to that, right? 2.5K screen, really great, really good. Like again, nothing's too big, nothing too small, but it's absolutely destroyed with this noise. Like maybe it's a bit better if you have like actually a lower res screen and then the color noise is smaller than the pixel, so you can distinguish it better. But let me tell you, on 2.5K screen and a stupid noise, incredibly bad, atrocious, just atrocious. And it's not, never mind that, I also, my first, oh my god, my battery's dying. My first tablet that arrived, my first Huion, was broken. It was just broken. It didn't even turn on. And that's the thing, I wasted a freaking week trying to, handle everything, shipping, all that, blah, blah, blah. I wasted a week just getting this tablet a second time and getting disappointed with the way it looks. And I shouldn't be. It's a graphics tablet. I shouldn't be disappointed with the color. I shouldn't be disappointed with the display. And I'm not nerding out like, oh my god, it's like quantum dot QLED. Who cares? It's just good enough. It looks like it better look like a max screen, average max screen. It should look like maybe my monitor, like my phone. It doesn't. And also Wacom Pros seem to have the same problem, as far as I can tell. But again, if you're someone who knows more about it and whatnot, please let me know. But again, I'm not here to talk about getting the best and whatnot. Also, not overpaying for stupid stuff, which is, let's say, Cintiq. Or even last gen Huion, right? But this is actually the only thing that my takeaway from this video, I would say, is like, get previous gen Huions if you can get on those Canvas 2021 edition. Those are really good because they will not have this stupid thing. Or even if you want the tactile paper feel, you can just slap a screen protector. But you have the choice and not a destroyed product that you may hate, and not waste the time for shipping and handling and questionable quality control, which human might have. Or maybe it's transportation too, but again, you have to. That's why, how I said earlier as well, that's why, because my local dealer, for example, didn't have Huions for whatever reason, at least the graphic ones. And, that's the thing. I just went out of my way because I really wanted to get something decent, but whatever. And now I have the last, anyways, let's move on from this. And now let's move to the other one. I have the last XP pen tablet, 16-inch. Actually, Artist Pro 16. So it's like the first one, but the first one is like last gen. It's like, why the fuck is it so stupid? Why is it so hard? I don't understand. Well, this one, it's pretty good overall, but I would say if you have the option to get Huion, don't even bother getting it. Pen sucks. Pen just sucks. Like, compared to Huion, when I use Huion, I feel like it's a pen. Yeah. When I use XP pen, I think all of their pens suck, and it's not. I think even it's. Oh yeah, for sure it is the pen as well as the software, the drivers. So like I would say XP pen drivers are better in terms of like application interface, but they're worse in terms of pen interface, like what do you call it, hardware stuff. And I don't know where the other pen is. Whatever. I want to show you like Wacom. Oh, not Wacom. Jesus. I mean, it almost is like Wacom. Huion pen versus XP pen. Oh, it's XP pen. Whatever. I cannot find the other one. This pen is bad as fuck. Like, first of all, it's a pencil. I get it, but it has no rubbery thing that the Huion has. It's holding this is much more annoying for long periods of time. But it's not even actually, who cares, right? But I mentioned this is like a minor gripe, really. The really annoying part is this tip. It's like when you draw, it makes like a clicking noise, and you feel like the pen and the tip are two different parts, and it's not like a one solid structure thing, whatever. When you use a Huion pen, you don't actually feel like the tip is separate from the pen. You feel this is a whole piece. When you use XP pen, you're constantly feeling like this thing is falling apart, this tip. And it's like, it's not great. And it's not great, not even in that. I think that contributes to it. No, sorry. I think it contributes to it. But the real problem is actually the feel. First of all, the actuation force is terrible. It's not that it's low, like you need to press hard for it to actuate. The problem is that it's inconsistent. It's variable. So it's like you're always, when you're drawing, you have to you're drawing and you're shooting for the kind of rough zone when it's gonna activate. But you never, you cannot really precisely know. It's just gonna shoot off and be inconsistent every time. And also, and pressure sensitivity, it's stupid. I even think I recently saw the announcement of XP pen of 16,000 pressure levels. It's not about the levels, it's about the relative differential between the changes in values, right? Whatever. Fucking, should stop being a nerd. Problem is, this thing, it's either barely there's barely any pressure at all, or there's a lot of pressure and then nothing in between. There's not a smooth gradient between changes in these values. It's basically, I would even go as far as to say, don't bother using pressure sensitivity that much on this. There's a little bit of it, sure, fine, but it's not good. It's not good when I say that, because I tried Huion, and it makes sense, and it feels like a pencil because when I press it down, it's just like I don't need to be freaking harsh or anything. It's just like, yeah, just like a do like a gliding stroke, and it freaking works. Makes sense, great. But the screen is stupid. I hate looking at it. I fucking it should be graphics card, fucking graphics tablet, and I should enjoy it. I hate it. So this is my for tab, like I said. I think if you are still getting XP pens, because I'm still trying to decide between two tablets. Wow, cliffhanger. Huh. No, yeah, but honestly, I don't even know which one to get rid of. If there's, I mean, if whatever I'm ranting about is even remotely important, I guess maybe it's stupid and whatever. Then sure, I don't mind. I mean, I don't care. But I guess if you are interested, yeah, I could then later tell you which one I stayed with, which I really have a hard time because I'm just tired. I'm tired of having to buy billion tablets, return them, waste my time when I just want to work, just want to think to work, and I don't want to like I don't want to feel pain. When I work with color and Huion, I feel pain. I feel like I have to struggle and squint to look for the color, look for the little details. It's just true. My XP pen, I need to think about how I use the pen. Like I'm using as something wobbly robot. Like you know how you play these games and like you press in W and then your character just like walks like a 10 meter 100-meter distance, and then you release the key and then the acceleration is even crazier and then it shoots you off and you just want it to move a little bit, like you know what I mean, like there's basically like the character is its own freaking thing and it's like doing its own thing and you just kind of have to learn the rules when you don't necessarily want to learn the rules, you just want it to work well. So that's XP Pen's pen in my opinion. It's this freaking weird character with 10-meter walking distance. Huion perfectly just copied, just literally probably stole the Wakeham's IP. It's really good. But oh, by the way, I'm not joking. I don't think it's about like that stealing IP and shit. I think because the thing is, looking at these bunch of these tablets, XP Pen, Huion, it's like they're literally. I don't think they're maybe come of the same factory. They might be actually, but they have so many similarities. Like not that they are similar, but they are almost identical. They are like the. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if like there's like a Chinese factory or like there's like a Chinese bacon factory whatever, like Chinese authority just took the IP and just sold it to highest bidder, and it just happened to be XP Pen Huion because they just seem to be too freaking similar. They're like almost identical. It's like this should be one company. It's like like I don't know if I made this analogy, but yeah, it's like you have Huion, you have XP Pen. If they just did this, if this was one company, yes, it would have actually made sense. All of this is stupid. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And with this, I want to conclude like this video. So for you regular viewer, what should you actually get out of this? Get it Huion Canvas 21 version if you can get your hands on. If again you're looking for a tablet that's about $300 to $600, you don't want to get a huge one because you want maybe mobility. If you want less mobile one, I would still recommend you get Canvas 21 if you don't want to overpay because the pen feel is superior. Try to avoid XP Pen as much as possible, but if it's only your only option, then obviously go for XP Pen. Why I say that is I'm assuming because there's other also tablet brands such as Game On and the other one, but I haven't had a chance to try them. If there's someone who tried them, if there's someone who had a similar real experience as me, and I really mean real, I'm not saying being brutally honest, I mean real. Like, or you're someone who also like just went through the struggle. Maybe you had like Vacoms and you see the problems with it for real, and you're not someone who maybe got it back like from Huion and just did a bunch of positive or balanced reviews. Like yeah, just maybe even reach me out. I would gladly link your stuff as well in description. Just like I just want there to be a place on YouTube for people that are looking for graphics tablets and they're just gonna save their time. It's just like they don't have to go through this stupid unnecessary hurdle, this pain and struggle when it can just be as easy as possible. So yeah, and again, thank you for watching all this. I know it's been long, but I just don't know how else to get through this. But like, I think, in my opinion, everything that I said is still more valuable than having to go for 20 stupid product review videos, which are amount to more time than this video, and you would have learned much less as of 2023. So as of 2023, to iterate again, don't get XP pen. If you're getting XP, get last gen. Um, um, as far as I can tell, again, in terms of XP pen, the Artist Pro is something you shouldn't get, except the 16 version that looks like the iPad. Is like, or like, what is it called, the space gray thing. Innovator is just the previous gen of this space gray Artist Pro 16. The other Artist Pros that have like this red circle, completely avoid them. They're stupid, they should not exist. So yeah, so in terms of like a larger Artist Pro, the other, like the larger displays on XP pen side is probably like this black one or something that's just Artist. I think there's no Pro in it or something like that. It's just, it has like a cat. It has like a cat picture on these promotional whatever screens. So that's XP pen. Hoyan, don't get last gen. Oh my god, you're just, and it's the worst because the pricing is the same. The pricing is the same for different gens. It's stupid as fuck. The screen, like the 2.5K screen, non 2.5K screen of Huion, I think also similar price. It's just like there's no consistency whatsoever. Obviously, you're gonna get consistent if you're like buying a 4K screen. I say don't get a 4K screen. Why would you waste money? And then also needing like a decent computer to drive the pixels. I would say get the smoothest experience possible. Yeah, just that's really it in terms of these brands. Wacom, I would say just don't get Wacom at all. Again, I wish I would be more like wishy-washy or walk around it, but just don't get Wacom. Fuck it, fuck this brand. And yeah, this is just my opinion, my takes. Again, like, even though this is my intention to be direct, but also understand that I have no interest, intention in starting either a war or like nothing. I'm just doing this for the sake of like seeing someone on the other side just as me and wanting to help this person out by saving them time, and them, such as myself, still finding the product enjoyable for the price. That's it. And again, like I said, if you're someone who's willing to reach out or you've made content like this before as well, I'll be gladly like to link your stuff as well. I'm gonna also link a couple of videos that I feel are fair in this whole thing. Just again, that's really it. That's really it. Thank you. Peace. Signing out. Yeah, that's. There's like much more actually I would want to say, but it's already so long. So yeah, take care.